This is the 10th video in the beginning programming series, and in this video we're going to look at user task arguments. For more information, visit jb.works and at the search prompt enter the TMT code shown at the bottom of the screen. Right, before we carry on, we'll just quickly recap what are tasks. So tasks let you group useful code together and then you can reuse it by simply calling the task. And they can be called from anywhere in a program. And tasks also help to make programs more human-friendly because it makes them easier to understand, which is important. So user tasks are tasks that are created by the user and they can't use the same names as system tasks, and they need to be declared just like variables. So for example, this prog start is a system task, prog loop is a system task, but flash user LED is a user task. And this is the code that goes inside the user task. And then this is the line that tells Octagon that we've reached the end of that user task. And so user tasks have to be declared. So if we have a very simple say hello task, this task will always do the same thing and it will just print the word hello, or sorry, print the word hi. It's got no input variables or input arguments, so it just does the same thing. If we take that simple say hello task and we add some arguments, we do it by adding name/name, which is a name variable, and we're saying that it's going to be a text value. And then we're going /age and we're saying that it's going to be an integer. So what this has done is we have created a task called say hello, and we have said that when you call that task, you're going to provide a name and you're going to provide an age. And when you do, the name that you provide will be stored in the name variable, and the age you provide will be stored in the age variable. And then down here we say print hi name, you are age years old. So basically arguments and tasks let you pass information to the task. They are declared inside the task declaration. So that's what we've done up here. We put the details of the input arguments in the declaration of the task. And the arguments that you pass to a task can be variables or values, which we'll see in a wee bit. And finally, the arguments can only be seen by the task. So this name variable and this age variable are only visible inside this task. You can't see them outside of the task. So now let's take a look in the editor and have a look at an example. That was good, baby. Okay, so we're here back in the editor and I've got this basic program, and if you look, we have a user task here called say hello. And that's all it does. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put a call into the main program loop here. So it will run the say hello task. And then it will do something we haven't come across before, and that is it runs the exit prog command. And what that does is it says, I want to exit my program, and it will take you straight to the top of the prog stop task, and then it will just run whatever's in prog stop, and the program will stop. So let's run it, and there we go. So first of all, it clears the screen, then it goes program start, which you can see here. It calls our task, which basically says hi, and then it exits. So that's a user task with no input variables. So now we want to add some input variables to this to make it more useful. So the first one I'm going to add is name, and we put two quotes, and that tells Octagon that this is going to be a text variable. And the next variable we're going to put in is age, and we give it a value of 0. And that tells Octagon that this is going to be an integer variable called age. And then notice we've still got a space between the 0 and the equal sign. So this is the new declaration of the say hello task, and it contains the variable name, which is a text variable, and the variable age, which is 0, and therefore an integer. So the next thing we want to do is we want to say hi, the person's name, and then you are, however the age is, years old. So we would go hi name, you are age years old. Okay, so it's going to say hi, name, you are, age, years old. To call our new task, we need to give it a name. So we'll say Jack, and then we need to give it an age. So we'll say 25. So now I'm calling my say hello task, but I'm giving it the input argument Jack and an age of 25. So let's clear the print screen, print tab, and we'll run it, and let's see what it does. And lo and behold, it says program start, then it says, hi Jack, you are 25 years old. The sharp-eyed ones of you out there would have noticed that there are two variables up here, one called new name and the other one called new age. So what we can do is we will call our say hello task again, but instead of providing it with values as such, we're going to provide it with variables. So the first variable is going to be the name, which is new name, and then the second variable is going to be new age. So when we run this now, it should say, like it did before, hi Jack, you're 25 years old, but it should also say after that, hi Jenny, you are 100 years old. Let's see what it does. And there you go. So, hi Jenny, you are 100 years old. So while I'm happy with that, Jenny's probably not happy, she's 100 years old, but anyway. So what you're doing is, in this case, instead of providing fixed values as the input arguments, you're actually providing variables, or using variables as the input arguments for the task. So this is essentially a user task with input arguments. So just to recap, these are the input arguments, and you declare them when you declare the task. And you've still got to have a space with the equals at the end. And then these variables are only visible inside this task. So I can't use the name variable elsewhere in my program. It'll give me an error. The task's arguments are variables, and the value that you set them to tell the task what type of data is going to be stored inside that variable. And finally, when you call them, you can call them with either fixed values like these or using variable values. And that is the end of tasks with arguments. For more information, visit jb.works.